Unleash the Beast. Jordan Moore, Shaun Cody, Cody Kessler, Keely Eure back with us for our Roundtable. Welcome back, Keely. Great to see you as always.
Glad to be back.
A new season ahead. We're talking to Coach Riley. Something that I wanted to ask you guys that I was going to ask him but didn't get to. This team, is it possible that the defensive side is a little bit more interesting and exciting going into game one and what we could see than the offensive side? Or do you guys still think that the identity of this team will be in the offensive side of the ball?
I think the identity, in my opinion, from what I know, and the unknowns versus knowns.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns, we should admit.
I lean towards this is going to be a defensive team. You add almost 600, more than 600 pounds just in Keyshawn Silver and Jamal Jarrett. I think Lynn has so much more he can do up front than what he had last year, just depth experience-wise. And then, as you guys talked about with Coach Riley, Kamari Ramsey on the back end, I don't think he's being talked about enough in the sense that the experience that he has, the leader that he's become on this defense, and he's the guy who has the most experience at the collegiate level in Lynn's defense. So I just think overall the defense could be the real calling card for this team. And if Eric Gentry stays healthy, you can't not talk about that guy.
Yeah, I think you look at it, this roster on paper, and you see the depth on defense. What have they done up front? At the linebacker level, Gentry was probably the best playmaker until he gets hurt last year, and then Kamari coming back. So definitely, I think defensively, I think it's going to be interesting just to watch the offense because Lincoln Riley has always done a great job with quarterbacks and developing offense and wants to be an offensive team. How does his coaching, his play calling change? Does it change? Is he willing to let the defense kind of thing? Because we've seen in Lincoln Riley's career, offensive teams with quarterbacks that can move the ball a lot, not really so much on the defense. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch him as a coach and how he develops as a play caller, or if it changes at all. So that's what you watch these games. I think it'd be interesting to see that aspect of it.
Yeah, if USC wants to compete for a Big Ten championship, if they want to be a part of the college football playoff, they have to dominate on both sides of the football. But being a former quarterback, in my opinion, that starts on offense. Lincoln Riley is still one of the best play callers and one of the best offensive minds in all of football. That has not changed. Now, I know USC wants to establish a run game this year. They want to make it a point of emphasis to run the football. But at its core, this is still a Lincoln Riley air raid type of offense that is at its best when it is dangerous, it's explosive, and it has the capability of scoring from anywhere on the field at any point in time. When they can put together those 3-play, 75-yard drives and take 30 seconds off the clock and finish in the end zone, they have to get back to that. Lincoln Riley's first 2 years, they averaged over 41 points per game. Last year, they averaged 30 points per game. You can argue that Big Ten defenses are tougher than the Pac-12. You can argue there's no Caleb Williams, all of those things. But now you have a year in the conference. And I expect Lincoln Riley, like Shaun was saying, to go back and game plan, to self-scout, to watch what worked and what didn't a year ago and address some things and make adjustments off of that. They need to get back to averaging 40 points per game and force these other teams in the conference that aren't capable of scoring a lot of points to try to keep up and play our style of football.
If they're going to do that, the quarterback play needs to be better than it
100%.
was last season.
100%.
So what do you want to see from Jade Mayava? Obviously, the competition in the first 2 weeks is not going to be at the same level that it will be at other points in the season. So what can we take from Saturday? What little things will you be looking for?
Are you talking about Jaden specifically or overall?
Jaden.
Yeah, with Jaden, I mean, the most important thing is, like Coach Riley mentioned, is decision-making. He has to protect the football. If he wants to take that next step at the quarterback spot, I need to see how he handles things mentally on Saturday. I also want to see him develop as a passer, right? Be better with his accuracy. Through 4 games last season, his 4 starts, he had a combined 58% completion percentage. That's not good enough. He has to be better. That starts with his footwork, but that's going to help him when it comes to the comfortability and understanding of the offense, right? Because once you get comfortable with progression, your feet will follow along, right? Eyes before feet, those things will help. I want to see him go through progression, step up in the pocket, keep a strong, firm base, and deliver an accurate, catchable football throw after throw. I also want to see him be a part of the run game. A big issue last year, or a big argument we all had for replacing Miller Moss for Jaden Mayava was him being a part of the run game. He had 18 yards combined in 4 games. I know you count sacks, but it was really non-existent as him as a runner out of the backfield. And then the last thing, just show confidence and leadership. You've been waiting all offseason for this opportunity. Go out there, have fun, play free, and let it rip.
Outside of winning, what do you have your eye on for Saturday?
I mean, it ties into my first answer. There's so many unknowns for me when it comes to the offense. Now, you guys asked great questions, so I did get some answers from Coach Riley as far as running backs and offensive line, but definitely offensive line. I think we expected Reed to win out at center, and as Riley said earlier, it's still a competition between Keely O'Connor and John Ray Reed. So looking for that. Tobias Raymond, can he slot at guard? Can he slot at tackle? What will they like from him? I don't know. So definitely offensive line. Where's everyone going? And Coach Hansen talked about that they will have rotation in that first game, so we won't get an exact answer, but we'll at least see the variations that they like. Running backs, got to see them live. Curious the new guys in the room, what they look like. And then again, like you talked about, Jordan, that third wide receiver, who's that going to be? Who's in that room talent-wise? There's a lot of unknowns on the offense. So
it does seem like the second consecutive year where the bowl game, well, maybe not the most important bowl game in the world, is an offensive line springboard to the next year.
Yeah.
Killian obviously took his spot, and Justin Tuanu has become a guy that it sounds like he's really in the mix, and again, wasn't until that bowl game. Sorry, Shaun. What do you have your eye on?
I'm going to be watching the defense. It's going to be, I think the next level of this defense, I'm trying to coax it out of maybe Braylon and coach, is you got to make plays. It's as simple as that. Last year, I think they took the step of being in the right positions, right? That you had seen too many years before prior to Coach Lynn, just guys out of position, breakdowns on the back end, not in the right gaps. Like those kind of things kind of got solved last year, and we were, kind of a more sturdy in that sense. But the playmaking wasn't there. The sacks weren't there. Just 20-some sacks on the year.
Once Gentry got hurt.
Yeah, the sacks weren't there. 20
felt like it was
20-some sacks on the year. That's not enough. TFL's way down. He led the team in TFLs and played half the year. So it just, the playmaking wasn't there, and you need that on defense to be, if it wants to be a defensive group, that's how you got to make those plays and to make those spark plays on defense to set your offense up.
Who's a newcomer or a freshman that you can't wait to see out there in a USC uniform on Saturday?
I think the obvious answer is Jakeem Stewart. He's a guy who Coach Lynn is he doesn't give out praise just because, and Lynn has been very high on him, so excited to see him as well. And also Tinook Hines on offense, the incoming wide receiver, got a lot of praise in camp, so curious to see what he's like.
I want to see Longstreet. They better be rolling these boys. They better get the backups in. We want to see the backups.
Where Shaun breaks out his best in the game pick and goes with the backup QB and tries to steal a point.
Hey, you got to play the game. You got to play the game.
Done it before.
Yeah, I'm going Wayman Jordan. I've been extremely high on him since I saw that he was going to come over here to USC. I went and watched his tape at Hutchinson Community College, and I've said it before. The scheme that he ran there is going to transition perfectly to what Lincoln Riley does here. A lot of guard tackle pulling, a lot of tight end tackle pulling. So I think he's going to fit in perfectly. I do know that there are 3 talented backs in that room with Eli Sanders and Brian Jackson as well. So I'm curious to see how that rotation is going to be. Obviously, Coach Riley mentioned that Wayman will go out there first, but how many reps is he going to get? What unit's going to be out there with him? What's the offensive line going to look like while he's in there? But overall, I'm going to keep my eye on number 2 on Saturday.
We had a lot of fun talking to Prince Strawn. Were you on that show in the in the spring? He's an impressive looking dude. So he's another one. Again, we've gone into so many USC football seasons being like, oh, there's 6 receivers. How are they going to get everyone the ball? Now it's like an NFL team where it's just like, we know the 2 guys that are going to lead the team in catches.
Better, I think.
Yeah,
it is right up until the point where, one of them can't go or something like that. And then it's like, there better be somebody else. And so, I'm looking to figure out who that is. And it's probably a newcomer from what we've seen. All right, Trojans Live is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino, a proud partner of USC football. One final segment to come on Trojans Live. As Shaun said, this team needs to improve in defensive playmaking. Who will lead the team in sacks this season?
Ooh.
Remember, all answers are recorded and will be thrown back in your face at the end of the season.
I'll go first.
No, I'll go first. Okay. Anthony Lucas.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't going to say anything. I do like.
It wasn't even brought up. This is what I'm telling you. This defensive line has dudes on it.
Yeah.
I like Anthony Lucas. I like Braylon Shelby. I'm going to go Cameron Fountain, though. I've been hearing some great things in camp. Did I just take yours?
No, you didn't take mine.
I'm on Team Cody.
Okay.
I was going to say Devin Tompkins.
Tompkins.
The
Little
way that they're
love?
talking about Devin Tompkins, skyrocket year is what Coach Henney said. So I will trust the man.
Don't sleep on Thanos. And also, Gus Cordova has been making some noise throughout camp as well. So there's some young guys that could step up.
Shaun, how will having that beef in the middle help the edge guys?
Oh, it's big, because if those guys can take up 3 guys, then you get one-on-ones. That's basically what you want. And you want, if you're watching from home and you're seeing guys win one-on-ones up front, if you're winning at a 50% clip, let's say you're a batter and you're hitting 1 of every 2, that's winning football. You get above that, you're a Hall of Famer. You're below that, you're not doing it enough. So you need to see get those one-on-ones, and if those 2 big guys in the middle can hold up 3 guys, you got 2 one-on-ones in the end. That's where it's at.
We get to see it starting Saturday. Come visit us. We'll be up at the Peristyle. The Trojan Tailgate Show has a new set up there. Me, Shaun, Cody, Sewell will be there. Keely will be down on the field, and we will talk to you 2 hours before kick. Thanks to everyone for watching. The Trojans Live just getting started. Fight on.